In anime, it is common for characters to have a sort of consistent appearance standard. Often, characters maintain their beauty or perfection, even during moments of extreme strife or emotion. Let's be honest, we humans, most of us at least, look ugly sometimes. I'm not sure if that's the best way to put it, but our emotions morph our appearance in a lot of different ways. Subaru Natsuki is a perfect example of capturing this prime human characteristic. ReZero is most likely not the only show that does this, but I applaud how the design and subsequent representation of Subaru is revealed throughout his ever-changing expressions in the series. Now, before we start, we all have to admit this. Subaru is quite the handsome character. I mean, I'm not gay, but damn. He's not designed as a perfect pretty boy, but all of his characteristics assemble into an iconic, charming, and overall unique design among many protagonists. However, Subaru isn't always good looking, and that's for many different reasons. As you all should know, I really hope, ReZero is a horror and psychological horror show. And oftentimes we witness some of the most horrifying and gut-wrenching outcomes for our protagonists. Cleaved, clobbered, and torn to pieces. Throughout all of this, we're drenched with fear and confusion. His face, contorted by an ever-amounting dread, enforces these emotions, making them even more vitriol and real. To be honest, the art just genuinely captures how a real human would act when faced against a challenge so terrifyingly insurmountable. Every bead of sweat, each glare in his eyes, and every wrinkle formed from each pain expression immerses me more and more in the show. I don't scare easily, but ReZero genuinely puts those feelings of panic and distress inside of me. Subaru is intentionally made to look these way to evoke these emotions inside of you, and the studio behind ReZero, White Fox, doesn't tiptoe around his emotions and presentation to make him look handsome. Continuing on that note, let's look at the moments in which Subaru is acting a fool, like a giant asshole. Many of the scenes in the capital capture this extremely well. His flaws are presented beautifully, with each shot condemning the words that he's speaking. He's honestly just downright being a jerk in these scenes, especially to Amelia. In these moments, we see a deranged loser, and that's exactly what Subaru's acting like. Of course, a boy claiming that a girl should be indebted to him because of his actions is deranged, as seeing relationships as transactional, although it's mainly in a moment of emotional weakness, it should be apparent that he's wrong, and that he needs to change. Now, I'm being a little too mean to him here. He's always been a good person, with mostly pure intentions. But he's a 17-year-old boy, and he has problems. Just as much as he is a loser in these scenes, once he marches past his flaws, becomes a better, more compassionate, and thoughtful person, does his visual representation change. But before we get to that, I want to look at his expressions during From Zero, and other adjacent painful emotional scenes. Each of his pain faces just shows you nearly exactly how he's feeling when he's pouring out all of his emotions, which just makes it all the more real, especially when he's crying. Now, most of the time, Subaru is not a pretty crier, but I'd easily say most of us aren't either. Overall, it just builds upon the ethos that Subaru is representative of the human condition as a whole. Now, before we move on, I'd like to take a little break to request that you subscribe to our channel. It would help us out a lot, and we're going to do a lot more mixed anime video game content. Our main focus is ReZero and Persona, so if you're a fan of either of those two, I recommend sticking around, because there will be a lot more where that came from. Back to the video. Now, all this loss, hopelessness, and despair is wonderfully juxtaposed in the face of our hero, once he becomes a hero. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it again. I'm not gay, but Subaru is a handsome guy. And this is highlighted especially throughout each of his heroic moments. From Zero, to A Reason to Believe, and all the way to Choose Me. We get to see Subaru at his peak of sincerity and heroism. And when his pure heart of kindness shows, we know it. Subaru is truly representative of humanity. He has an ugly face sometimes, but he's genuinely an amazing guy once he works past his flaws. I'll say this, and I'll say this over and over again. Subaru is relatable to everyone. Not just people who find themselves in the same situation he's in, but anyone who genuinely wants to march past their flaws, their insecurities, and their anxieties. It's not all about visual storytelling too. It's just that I could connect better with these characters because they're not visually perfect all the time. And there's far more to say than this. But there's just so many more reasons for why Subaru just feels so refreshingly human in contrast to thousands of other stories told in this medium. Thank you for watching. As I said early in the video, this channel will be posting a lot more ReZero videos in the future. I may not be the best at analyzing things, or putting them into words, but I feel as though I have something important that I could bring to the table. If you like how I talk, how I write, or how I analyze ReZero, I recommend subscribing to the channel. ReZero is my favorite anime, and with the new season that just started yesterday, there will be loads of more scenes to admire and analyze, so stick around for more. Also, this channel is a team of two, me and my co-narrator Brett. He makes some amazing videos as well, so you should check him out.